Hello. Dave and I are here to answer your questions. Dave, come and say hi. Oh, this is Dave. I think I just woke her up. All right. This email is from a person whose name I will tell you in 2 seconds, Josie. This email's from Josie. And it's quite long, so make sure you're sitting comfortably, children. Okay. I'm basically trying to bulldoze through and go completely cold turkey on everything, in block capitals, from the tiresome rituals to eating out of the same stupid routine because I know that what I'm eating is only sustaining me as far as much as it makes me feel safe and feel physically okay, but I need to try and rehabilitate if I ever hope to make a full recovery. I'm really struggling, however, with as soon as I attempt to start increasing or make the decision to fully commit, my thoughts will throw up a time when maybe I lied about something that was horrible to someone. It's like when I feel ready to recover or something, I think of something in the past that I've done wrong and I've upset someone, and then I feel like so guilty and awful about how I've been that I don't deserve to eat or recover. This is a pattern that seems to happen a lot, and I'm finding myself now, even when I'm feeling positive and okay, I'm almost scared because I don't want to think about a time when I did something wrong in the past, as I want to recover. But obviously, if you stop yourself from wanting to think about something, the more I will think about it, so I'm feeling a little stuck. It's so frustrating, as most of the thoughts I have are about the things I did in the last 4 years suffering from anorexia. However, the things I have done wrong aren't directly to do with anorexia, like lying about something or making stories up or just overall being a horrible person. It's something anorexia definitely using and making me feel almost like I don't deserve to feel better due to the guilt of the past mistakes I've made. Is this a common thing that anyone has experienced? I just hate feeling like I'm not a good person, and although each day I try and tell myself that everyone does bad things and makes mistakes, and all I can do is try and be a good person now and try and get better. The feeling of guilt I've done things wrong in the past always makes it feel impossible to eat. I do have your book, and though it's helping, especially right now, I'm also struggling with no physical hunger and worrying that I'm not really hungry and satisfied with what I eat every day. There's no point increasing as I don't need to in a most comfortable, safe place but I know I need to commit, and I do really feel like I'm getting there. Okay, well, if you've got my book, you'll probably also know that there's a chapter in that talks about what to do if you genuinely don't think you don't have physical and mental hunger, so you should probably read that again. I'll give you a hint. It's to do with eating a lot of food regardless. Eating disorders, anorexia is so weird. And one of this weird aspects of it is this martyring effect that it has. I talk about that in the book as well. How eating disorders turn us all into martyrs. And one of the other aspects of it is it kind of taps into... There's a huge aspect that makes you very concerned with being a good or a bad person. Not for everyone, but for many of us. I did plenty of bad person things when I was sick, when I had anorexia. I've spoken a lot, written a lot about stealing and things like that and lying. I didn't have this aspect in recovery. I didn't have this kind of I'm a bad person so I don't deserve to recover thing, thank God. But I did feel a lot of guilt about it, and I have absolutely had plenty of clients that have experienced similar things. I think that there's the martyrism comes up strong for many of us in anorexia, the OCD element comes up strong, and then sometimes the OCD kind of brings up this superstitious element stuff, which is I have to do things the right way, and if I don't do things the right way, then I don't deserve to eat. I think that all of it can drive you crazy. You just have to get very focused on committing to eating as much as you can. And you commit to doing that whether you feel like it or not. So even if you have a thought which is I'm a horrible person, look at that thing I did 3 years ago to that person, I'm awful, I don't deserve to eat. Even if you have that thought, if you're committed to eating as much as possible, you have to eat as much as possible, even if you're having thoughts telling you that you're not. That's the whole point of commitment, because it means that regardless of how you feel in the present moment, the commitment keeps you safe in a sense. The commitment dictates your behaviour to you. So, for example, you could go out and murder someone, and if you've committed to eating as much as you can and unrestricted eating, I would expect you to come back in, sit your ass down and eat dinner, right? Because when you commit to something, you do it regardless of what else is going on and how else you feel. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of context as to it is, if you've committed to recovery, it is never excusable not to eat as much as you can and as much as you want. And your brain is going to be conniving, and it's going to try and convince you it's going to try and use whatever it can, whatever works to convince you not to eat, because it's scared of gaining weight. So it's going to try and use whatever it can, and you have to be a little step ahead of that. And what I found really useful in recovery was to recognize the stories that my brain would tell me, the ones that came up frequently as to why I shouldn't eat. And I'd recognize them, identify them, and then label them. I'd give it a name. Like, that's for this example, that's the guilt story that your brain tells yourself about why you shouldn't eat because you're such a bad person. And you need to label that story, and you need to be able to identify it so that when it comes up again, you can go, I see what you're doing. That's the guilt story you're playing right now. It's not going to work. Go on, brain, put it away. Try something new. And so that you know that you're not allowed to respond to it when it comes up. You know this story. It's evidently come up enough times that you have written me an email asking about it. So there's no excuse for letting it trip you up anymore. And as long as it continues to trip you up, your brain will keep using it. When it no longer continues to trip you up, your brain will stop using that story. Yeah, it will find a different one. And ultimately you'll work through them all until then there's nothing that it bothers to try and use to trip you up anymore. I think that the guilt aspects of things can be enhanced when we have an eating disorder, this morality thing. And so I'm hoping for you that's going to get a bit better as you recover. You'll start to feel less guilty about things, because I very much doubt you're a bad person. And if you're a bad person, we're all bad people. So you don't have to be an angel to be a good person. Dave knows all about that. Dave is pretty much a good person, or a good cat, but she's definitely not an angel. And she doesn't feel guilty about anything. She doesn't care. She doesn't even care when she does bad things. You know what she did the other day? We've got this little, I think it's, what's the stuff that the canes, the like cane wood things? I don't know. When we first moved to America, somebody gave us this cane shoot in a nice little vase with water in it. And it's supposed to bring good luck to the house. So when you move house, like people, I don't know, maybe it's an American thing. I just said thank you. And so we've had it actually for a really long time now. And I came through about 2 mornings ago, and Dave had knocked it off the counter and chewed it. She killed the cane thing. That was supposed to bring good luck to the entire household, and Dave had just killed it. Dave didn't care. She didn't feel guilty about that. She should do. You should feel guilty, Dave. She doesn't. I know she doesn't. And I know if I put that thing back, she would do it again. I know she would. So anyway, we can learn a lot from animals, and not having a guilt complex is one of the things that we can learn from animals. But I think that's going to get better as you recover. Moral of the story is, don't let anything put you off eating. Commit to eating without restriction, and then no matter what happens in your life, in your thoughts, in your world, or how you feel, you are to eat as much as you can. Okay, so hope that helps.